Hello.
Hello.
All right.
That sounded like a way you'd answer the phone to a member of the family. Am I a member of the family now, James?
Yeah, you kind of are. I guess you are, really, in a funny kind of way.
I don't know if I agree to this. That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I think so. It's usually fuck off, fuck you. So hearing that I'm now part of the Farley clan.
Well, you're part of my Nintendo family, so why not, you know?
Yeah. That's right. Also, Can you start paying for my Spotify, my internet, and
I'm not paying for Spotify.
Well, you might need to start paying for my free trial of Disney Plus is up
really?
next month.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a trouble. I'm gonna have to start paying for it, aren't I?
I'll tell you what's annoying with that. They've increased the price recently.
What? It was like £8 when we looked.
Well, when I first had it, it was £50 for the year, which was brilliant. Yeah. That was pretty good. I was really happy with that. I just got a thing through saying we're going to renew this soon. It's going to be £80 for the year. So that's quite an increase.
Yeah, but it's still not. It's better than £8 a month, isn't it?
I guess so,
that's what they can't have. Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, using that service, I watched Captain America: The First Avenger on Friday night. I am very excited that the next film is The Avengers. Mm-hmm. But should we get this one over with?
What do we get it over with? This is okay.
Oh, he's your favourite, isn't he?
I really like this film. I watched it again.
This was the one that you liked. I thought it was like the later Captain America ones.
No, I like the later ones as well, but I like this one as well. I just think it's great. I just really enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right, well, let's go through the notes. Cool. Here's what I've got. Bit of an before it started. I had a bit of an awkward conversation with Harry because this is set in World War II, and we saw the trailer last week, so I knew it was set in World War II. Mm-hmm. Although, to be fair, I didn't know how much of it was set in World War II, but I wanted to explain it to him. He didn't know what World War II was, James. So we had a whole history lesson before we'd started.
I'd love to have been there to listen to that.
They've not done that on at school yet. So I was like, yeah, and you know what it's like when you finally get to learn about World War II at school. It's more about Anderson shelters and being evacuated. It's not the good stuff. It's not like talking about the battles and the tactical, like the tactics behind each battle and what won and what worked and what didn't and all that. It's just, people put these shelters in their garden and that.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because I did the same, obviously, because I talked to Asher about it, and Rachel already knew because she'd done bits at school, but obviously we talked about it as well because I'm fascinated, obviously, by the whole thing and geopolitics and all that. Yeah. And it's just really weird though when you start to explain it and you're like, this is nuts, actually. Like,
you can't imagine living through that time, but I mean, it's okay. Let's talk about that. It's kind of I mean, we've talking about more issues around things as well. Mm-hmm. But even in video games now, people are saying, should you really set a game in World War II? Mm-hmm. And, there's been a lot of questions about that. Should you really set a film with a superhero in World War II? Like, surely that question had to have been asked. Like, my view is absolutely. Yeah, I've got no problem with it. But I could see why some people would get offended by it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that, but also, absolutely, I think it's fair game, and I also think I think what they do with this is really good. Like this, that's why I like this film, because I like the message of this. I think it's good.
Well, we can talk about the message at the end. It doesn't appear to have started in World War II, though. Is that an old World War II plane that they've just found in the ice? No, wait, it's a bunker? Oh, he's going to be frozen in this thing, isn't he? I like that. That's always been my favourite sci-fi thing, and it always will be. I love that. What was it called? Cryogenically frozen?
Yeah, cryogenic.
I love it. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. Like Fallout. It was in Halo. Did it? There's Mass Effect. All of those. All the hits.
Hang on. This is going back to California Man, though, because that's what that is as well.
Exactly, James. What a movie. What a fantastic movie.
You haven't gone back and watched that, presumably.
No, I did not watch it this week. But I don't know. I like the idea that he's been frozen in that bunker/plane, but we'll get to that. Right, so back to 1942 now. I wonder if they're going to avoid showing the swastika in this. So far, lots of Nazi imagery, but not that, which I think I agree with. So obviously, we do see it in this, but by this, you know that opening scene where they're in, is it a church they're in, and someone's trying to hide something from the big baddie?
No, I don't think it's a church, but yeah, no, I don't think it's a church, but it's kind of like an archive or something like that, I think.
Yeah, it's an old building or whatever. But there was lots of, like, you know, they had that octopus badge thing, and all this, but you didn't see a swastika at that point. And I thought, oh, maybe they just don't want it in this movie. And ultimately, I think I understand that, you know, and I kind of come to terms with it that we wouldn't see it. And then, you know, about 5 seconds later, there's a full screen picture of a swastika. So that was like a bit of a shock. But okay. Wait, what was that big cube jewel thing? Wait, so what was that? He said he mentioned Odin. Does he mean Thor's dad?
He does, yes.
Right, okay, so there is a link there. I thought he was going to be really important, but then he just smashed it instantly.
Yeah.
Do we need to go into that yet? Because there's loads of stuff based around this, so we can talk about it at the end.
It's the Tesseract, isn't it? From Thor. Like, it's that. That's what that is.
What, the thing that they stole?
Yes.
Right, okay, but he smashed like a big chunk of it.
No, that was a fake. That was a fake thing. That wasn't real.
Right, okay.
That was the whole point. Like, it was like,
that's why he smashed it.
Yeah, it was.
I get you. Fucking idiot. Sorry.
Because then also, didn't you see that bit? You know, there's that huge sort of mural on the wall, and it's like it's got all like the tree and all that kind of stuff, and that's all from Thor as well.
I didn't notice that. No. That's the sort of thing you wouldn't have noticed that first time either. Don't give me any of that.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, something I know. There's so many people that do that. You didn't notice the massive mural. That wasn't
ridiculous.
What you were doing, but
yeah, it's like
so many people. Oh my god! How did you not spot that? You didn't spot it either. You went home, you saw it written on a forum, and you went, oh, that's cool, and now I'm going to pretend that I saw it when I watched it. I know your game, mate.
You got me. I mean, hands up. I read it on IMDb. So, yeah.
Right, okay. Nazi finds tiny suitcase from Pulp Fiction. I've got written down here. I'm assuming that's the real thing then, right?
That is the real deal, yeah.
Yeah, it really reminded me of Pulp Fiction, that scene where he opens up the suitcase and you don't actually get to see what's inside it. Blimey, I thought you said this wasn't... this right, okay. We've got to talk, James.
Oh, not again. What was it this time?
Blimey, I thought you said there wasn't much violence after Hulk. We've seen a crushed man, a human skeleton, and a Nazi shoot someone dead in cold blood, which splatters onto his octopus badge.
Yeah, that was a bit bad, wasn't it, that bit?
It gets worse. There's loads of, like, cold-blooded killing in this. This is the most violent film.
You think so?
Yeah.
In terms of human on human, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but like, I'd say Hulk's more horrible though.
We're jumping ahead, but to stay with this discussion, the scene where the prisoners escape, they're just there's just so many people just shooting at each other point blank range and just dying. I was like, fucking hell, James, right? I could have had a heads up.
But, I know, but I didn't remember that. And you see, this is the thing though. One of the reasons why I love this film is because this is a lot like Indiana Jones films. Like, there's a lot of like sort of similarities between the two, and that's what those films were like as well.
Okay, you did remember it then. If this is the reason why you love these films, then you did remember.
No. I loved it for the tone, not necessarily all the murder.
I mean, Harry was absolutely fine. I think I'm overly worried about it when I shouldn't be. All his mates are playing like Fortnite and stuff, which, all right, you don't see. I was about to say you don't see any blood in this, but there's a scene literally where you see blood spatter all over a person. So maybe not. But I was quite surprised. If you did forget it though, James, why do you tell me things like, no, that's about it for the violence now? Why do you do that?
Because recently, like I watched these films, admittedly about a year ago last time, and the one that stuck in my mind the most.
Right in your mind, yeah.
The one that stuck in my mind the most was The Incredible Hulk, like in terms of like vileness, like in that way. This didn't, like, for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just, it's shooting,
the
war, so it's a bit different, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, no, there's a swastika full screen, right? The first time you see that is when they're in the cinema, right? And they're watching that sort of that video before the cartoons, and there's that guy in there saying, "Come on, get to the cartoons," and all this, who turns out to be Biff Tannen from was it Back to the Future? I mean, looked like him, acted like him. He's now beating up the little guy in the alley. Harry cheered the soldier kicking Biff up the arse, though. So, you know, when his mate turns up...
He was cheering like Biff.
No. Charlie would have. Charlie absolutely would have. But Harry, he likes it when his mate turns up and then gives him a boot up the arse. That was good. And of course, that whole scene... I mean, it was always going to be important, that scene, wasn't it? But it was referenced later on in the film, the fact that although he was getting beaten the shit out of, he just kept getting back up. Right, Harry just went on a rant about how unfair it was that he's not allowed to join the army, and I've put a quote, "just because he's little." don't really know what to say to him about that. It was he was really adamant about it. Like, Harry's quite a subdued kid, right? But for some reason, he was proper furious that... What is his name? What's his name again?
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, right? He was furious that Steve couldn't get into the army. And I went, well, it's not just because he's little, mate. It's because he's got asthma. Doesn't matter.
He had loads of things wrong with him. That was
doesn't matter. If he wants to join the army, they should let him join the army. He's going up. So, but I didn't want to go into the whole, they're worried that it could put other people in danger, anything like that. I couldn't be bothered. But he was pretty, angry about this. Right, Stark Industries. Yes, we like that, even though the flying car didn't work. Just even the references Harry likes, Stark Industries. He comes back to that later. This really funny, but I'll get to it. Toby Jones. Oh my, these films really do have some unexpected people in them, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely do.
But
I think he's great.
Yeah, Toby Jones is excellent. Like, he's such a great actor. He can be fun. Like, I've seen him in really serious stuff. Yeah, Toby Jones is fucking brilliant. But definitely not a sort of actor that I'd expect to see in one of these. I don't know why. Maybe because he still feels
you've said that about so many films, that so many of these people
but this one in particular, because Toby Jones still, to me, seems like a British actor from British films, right? And I know he's not, and he's done so much stuff, but I didn't expect him to see like a superhero film. It was just weird. It was just a bit of a shock, but yeah, he was brilliant in this. I wonder if that blue shit that the Nazis are using is linked to that thing on Thor's World that they nicked. Right, so now we know.
I think it might be.
now we know. Now we know. Right, okay. Here's the this is a quote. "We have the best men, and because they're going to get better, much better." Love that gag for some reason. That was Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, it's Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, and he was superb in this, I thought. Getting the flag moment. Okay, I'm really enjoying this one so far. So that was, I mean, it was, that was that bit where they were all the other soldiers are trying to climb the pole.
All the lads trying to get up there, trying to impress her, and all that.
And Rogers just turns up and pulls the pin out and grabs the flag. Yep, loved it, even if it was a bit silly. Quotes again, "He's making me cry," from Tommy Lee Jones. Hardest I've laughed during one of these. That line was brilliant. It was very funny and superbly delivered. Well, this was when he was talking to the doctor, the scientist, or whatever his name is, and they're discussing Rogers. And he looks over it. He looks over him and said, "He's making me cry." I just thought that was such a great line. Then the grenade moment. Oh God, that was brilliant, James. I'm loving this.
I know it's okay. You may change your mind later, but seriously, this film has a really good start. Like a really strong, I'd say a really strong like first opening third.
Easily the best start of any of these films. Yeah, like just brilliant. Like we've mentioned the acting, but the acting throughout is absolutely brilliant, right? The tone of it's the most stable film in terms of tone that we've seen so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It really feels confident with everything it's doing as well. And the flagpole thing, the grenade, jumping on the grenade, it's a bit cliche, right? But it totally works in this context.
It really works. And this is why I love this character, though, as well, because they really, I feel, successfully like build up why he is this person and like what he becomes and why it had to be him. You know, and that's what I love about this. No, I love that. I think it's great.
I mean, they didn't really build him up. He was just, man wants to be in the army, wasn't allowed. And then scientists came and made him okay.
No, but then it's not much. No. They also build up that whole thing about you've got to have the right heart as well for this. Like, you've got to have the right motivation for doing this.
Okay, all right. There's
that whole scene where he says, like, do you want to kill Nazis? And he's like, I don't want to kill anyone. I just don't like bullies. That's a brilliant line. Right, that was really good.
Great line, right? Okay, but they didn't like the build up to it wasn't like this big. I don't know. I think maybe you're over-egging just a little bit what they did for the build-up.
For a Marvel film, for what we've seen so far, this has the best character building, I think, at the beginning of the film.
We'll talk overall stuff towards the end, okay? Because there's still a long way to go in this film. Right, yeah, so jumping on a grenade, at this point, I was absolutely loving it. Dr. Abraham is great, right? Fantastic acting, again. Really good character. When he drinks both the drinks, that was another big laugh from us. So that was when they sit down and he pours a scotch for each of them. And he says, well, what am I doing? You're not allowed to drink. You're having a big operation tomorrow. And they said, save it for another time then. Save it for another time. I'll drink it now. He just downed both the drinks. I thought, the comedy's really working as well. You know, genuinely funny moments in this. Right, operation time. This is real, I wrote this as soon as it happened. I dislike Clem Clempson a lot, and he's only said a few words. Like, the moment I saw Clem Clempson, I was like...
Who's Clem Clempson? I don't even know who that is.
James, I'm about to say something about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mate. He was the spy.
Oh, okay, right. He was the Hydra agent.
Yeah. So when Steve Rogers?
Yeah, Steve Rogers.
Right, when Steve Rogers is being like led in, he gets introduced to someone who then goes, "Oh, this is Clem Clempson," and like that made me laugh because that's like a name from Toast. You ever seen Toast?
Yes, I've seen Toast.
Yeah, like, everyone's called something like that, right? And I instantly, he was like, "Hey, hi, how's it going?" I was like, "I hate this guy already," but I thought it was only like a bit part. I didn't think he was actually going to be in it for a while. You just know you just knew there would be a Stark involved in this, wouldn't you? Yeah, so that's when Stark turned up. First glimpse of Muscle Man. I'm sort of just putting little notes in here just to let you know where I'm at. I told you Clem Clempson was a dick. So this is when he turns out to be the thing. Yes, mate. Captain America running after the car. This is cool as fuck. This has to have had the biggest budget of any of the films so far, right? How did they do the switch from Weedy Fella to Mr. Hunk?
Yeah, you see, and this is the only... I mean, maybe we'll talk about this later, right?
What? I want to talk about it now.
Okay, let me ask you, right? Did you... When you see him as, like, Weedy Steve Rogers, did you feel anything was amiss in the first part of the film with that?
Oh, fuck, I hate it when you do this. This is, you know, this is because you're a lecturer, right? Or you were a lecturer, or you still are. I don't actually know. We haven't spoken about your work for a while. But you know this is why. Fucking, they used to do this at school all the time. It's like, who can tell me?
Okay. Look, I'm just asking you a question.
You fucking know. Just tell me. Don't ask me a question.
No. There's no. This is a legit question. I just wanted to know. Did you feel anything was amiss when you were watching it?
Not massively, no. But the whole film had a weird. It had a weird. It was almost like an art style across everything, right?
Yeah.
So like for example, the sets didn't look like real buildings or whatever. You know what I mean? Like when they're in the town or whatever, it didn't look like a real town. It looked like a sheen of not fakeness, but just an artistic flair to it. And I felt that was across the majority of the movie, apart from one thing. But we'll get to that.
But no, you see, the thing is you see, obviously they use special effects to do this, you know, because that's not how he looks like through the whole thing.
No,
and when I first saw this, I must have just thought not even thought about it at all. But because obviously I've seen all of the other films as well, it's the voice. Like, because obviously it's still his voice, right? But because I've seen the other films, it doesn't feel right at all.
Oh, what? Did they pitch his voice up then or something?
No, it's the same. It's the same voice, but with his small body, and it just doesn't feel like it.
Wait, hold on. Are you being prejudiced now?
No, I'm not being prejudiced. I'm just saying.
It's the same voice, but you're saying his voice is weird. Oh, no, you're saying he looks... Right, I see what you're saying. So you're saying you're used to his voice being with that hulky man, that hunk of a man. And then you see this and you're like, that voice doesn't match that body.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right, did it kill you? No, I'm not going to say it. We're going to try and be a little bit more grown up on this show.
Yeah, but no, it's that was the thing. Like, because maybe the first time I saw it, I didn't even notice really, and maybe I don't think you noticed either. But because you get used to
why would
Steve
I
Rogers'
his voice? I didn't know his voice.
Well, that's the thing, because if you get used to Steve Rogers being this massive guy, and then suddenly there's this tiny guy talking, it just felt like it didn't match.
So what did they do? They just like put his head on another actor's body.
I think it was that, and then it was. I had a write up for this that I was reading earlier, and it's not very interesting, so I'm not going to explain it because like it's just one of those things where it's like, yes, it was special effects.
Oh, I hate basically. That. Yeah, but I'm into that stuff, like working out how they did it all. You just saying it was special, it was magic. Like, that doesn't work for me, James. It doesn't work for me. You let me down on that one, mate. Right, car door with a star on it used as a shield. Very good. We could see the foreshadowing. This I thought was great as well, right? So when the kid gets pushed in the water and then Rogers goes over to... I'm going to call him Captain America. Captain America goes over to the thing and goes to save him, and the kid goes, go get him, I can swim. I was like, what a little switcheroo that was. I thought that was going to be the old save the kid instead of going for the bad guy thing, but it wasn't, was it? Like, that was intended, right? You were supposed to think he was going to jump in and save the kid.
Well, also because multiple times during this escape, you think that the guy's just going to get away, like for some reason, and then
and he just doesn't. Yeah. Right. Then he captures the guy, James. Okay. Oh my God, suicide. This has to be the most inappropriate film for Harry yet, right?
Did you explain cyanide to him?
No, I explained that he killed himself. But he eats his own tooth, James.
Well, no, it's not his own tooth. He had cyanide. He had a cyanide.
I know it's not a tooth.
Still there,
but to a 7-year-old watching this film, he's just bitten off his own tooth and then it's full foaming in his mouth.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that was a bit much. That's actually when I because I was watching it earlier and I thought, that was a bit shocking.
I should stop. I can't now. He's like fucking well into it, right? And then I just put vaporizer gun just straight after that. Okay. Ha 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 ha! The first glimpse of Captain America. It is a propaganda thing. That's what I said on the intro show. The Captain America just looks like a propaganda thing. And
and he was. Exactly.
Has that always been the case?
Yeah, well, that's what it was originally. Well, not originally, but that was
in the comic books.
Yeah, in the comic books there was that as well. Yeah, as being
that's
part
brilliant.
Of the whole thing.
Do you know what's great about that is that I had no idea. So every time I saw Captain America, I thought, what?
Yeah, it's just some... I know what you mean,
What a fucking terrible, terrible superhero. What an awful superhero.
It's like, the Americans thinking so much of themselves. They got this.
Yeah, I didn't know that the whole thing was ironic.
Absolutely.
It was so good. I love it. Like, man, all this stuff with the comic books and the TV shows, it's great. I love this. Then doing it in front of the troops and just seeing the troops like fucking hate
totally unimpressed.
This whole bit was brilliant, right? And it was surprising because I didn't know anything about Captain America. I had a complete idea of what Captain America was in my head, and this completely slapped me in the face and just went, you're an idiot for ignoring all this.
You thought that this was all just like, he was like a super patriotic, like, I love my country, all that kind of thing.
Genuinely, that's what I thought. Maybe that's, like, I didn't think that they would get away with that in the films, but I think maybe that's how it started off, right?
No. It's, wow. Not like that.
Brilliant. What a brilliant, like, sort of twist on it. I fucking loved it, right? Just seeing him come out and do those shows, and all that sort of stuff. And then when he does it in front of the troops, and the troops are like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Like,
they're like, bring the girls back on.
There is one problem that I have, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've created this, like, insanely capable person.
Yeah.
And so, didn't Tommy Lee Jones just say, no, I need more of them? This was a waste of time.
That's the problem, because they do want to make more of them, but that's why initially they said we need to get him into the lab so they can like analyse his blood and all that kind of thing, because only Dr. Erskine, who was the one who was killed, knew the formula, like knew how to make it happen, basically.
He's not dead at this point, is he?
No, he's dead. He was shot.
Why was he shot? Why was he
He was shot by the guy you didn't like.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Clem. He was shot by Clem. That's, yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
And so because of that, it's like, they were like, well, you know, one of them.
We can't do anything now.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so
but you would still go, hold on, he is still fucking amazing, though. We should take him.
I know, but it's also an experiment as well, isn't it? And it's like, you know, how's it going to work out? You know, it's,
Nah, you're in the army. You're not going to go, all right, mate, just go go home. You're better than all our troops. Just go home, though.
He was doing a great job with the propaganda, though. You know, people were loving that.
He was, but...
Apart from the troops.
You, Tommy Lee Jones, you'll still say, I could probably, even if you're just, like, moving crates and stuff for us, like, that'll do. That's some help. Yeah. No, just go home, actually.
Stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Yeah. Right, okay. Right, out of interest, why is he taking a prop shield into actual war? Why is that happening?
Yeah, you would be. I mean, that was a bit odd, wasn't it? Because that was made out of wood or whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah. I know. So this is the bit where he goes to try and find his mate because the army aren't. They've just presumed that he's dead, right? And yeah, he goes. Oh, I'm gonna go over there, and he goes dressed. Does he dress in the costume as well, doesn't he?
Except he's still wearing the prop costume.
He's wearing the prop costume, and then he grabs the shield. And I'm like, why are you grabbing the shield, mate? You can do shit. Anyway, Harry keeps asking who this Stark is and where Tony Stark is. I'm having to explain time to my 7-year-old son. He's going, who's this Stark? Where's Tony Stark? I was like, he's not born yet. Was I born yet? No, you weren't born. You will remember World War II.
Where's Iron Man? Just be Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah, he didn't really. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the further he got into it, the more he forgot that this was set several, nearly 80 years in the past. Right, okay, sneaking about the Nazi base with that shield. And, I'm still laughing because he's in, dark clothing or whatever, and he's trying to be all stealth, but every time he turns his back there's that massive star blue red and white stripes and everything. Mate, there are so many people getting shot dead in this film, it's mad, right? That was another every time you hear a comment like that, James, that's aimed at you. I hope you know.
I got that.
It's a bit mad that the main bad guy recognised Captain America instantly. It would be better if he didn't, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually did wonder about that, because that's like the confrontation on the gantry. Yeah,
that's right.
And you're like, how does he know who this is and what he's doing?
Because he's been part of American propaganda. He's been plastered everywhere, right? So there's a chance that you would have seen it, right?
I don't know. I don't think the Red Skull was sitting there watching American propaganda.
Right, fine. But what I'm saying is that the whole thing would have been better if that bad guy come out and just went, the fuck are you dressed as? What are you holding? Do you know what I mean? That would have just been so much better. Instead, he was like, Captain America. I was like, what? Leave off. I wish.
Oh, we've got another scene here as well that I think you're not going to be impressed with as well. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I bet I don't even mention it. When he took his face off and chucked it in the fire, Harry just stared and went, that's weird.
That's the bit I thought you were going to mention as being horrific.
It was pretty bad, and I was worried. And I looked over, and Harry just looked at it, just looked at me and went, "That's weird." No other comment. No, that's scary. What's just happened there, Dad? Please explain what's going on. He just went, weird. And in fact, actually, stop me if I'm wrong. I was talking about the sort of art style of the film overall. The one thing that didn't really fit in was that head, I think. It was too red.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
Not really. I mean, He's the Red Skull.
Yeah, I know he's the Red Skull, but like Captain America's Captain America, but the blue wasn't like popping through the screen when he was wearing blue, was it? It was like, whereas that head was just like, whoa, burn your retinas off.
You wanted like a darker shade of red.
Yeah, darker shade, maybe a couple of cracks in it. That's what I'd have gone for. Okay.
There was another gag there that I quite liked as well.
What was that?
You know, like with Bucky next to him, he said, "You don't do that, do you?" Like, you know, like with the
yeah. That was quite good. Yeah, that was quite good. Okay, Harry genuinely thinks Captain America is dead. Right. So this is way further on. There's a massive fight. The whole facility explodes. Right. And it sort of fades to black as Captain America's jumping through fire. Right. And I put Harry at that point was genuinely convinced Captain America was dead, and he was silent, and he wasn't upset, but you could tell he was like, what
processing it
is going on. And I said that I can't wait for him to show up again, he'll lose his head. And then I put he turns up pretty quickly then, because it is literally like they do that, is he dead? And then they go, he's dead, he's dead, and then he just shows up. Like there was no suspense there. There was no moment where he suddenly shows up and you're like, he is alive. He just turns up at the base. Harry still lost it though. He was well happy to see him. One kiss and now he's in the doghouse.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, wasn't it? I mean, that wasn't really his fault, was it? I mean, you know, he got jumped.
I don't know. Why didn't he just go? No. do you know what I mean? No, thank you.
He's inexperienced with women. That was the other problem.
Are we all?
Obviously. Yeah.
I fucking am. Right. Okay. And there's a full transformation along with the montage, right? Yeah, so there's that whole thing where now he is slowly becoming Captain America. You see a bunch of cool shit that Captain America does. That was all pretty cool. Harry said during this bit, now that's what I call a good look.
That's amazing.
Although I'm not so sure about what he says. I had some ideas about the uniform. It's basically the old one that you've been wearing, mate.
It's the old one, but
he tried to claim it. He tried to claim it. Hey, I've had some ideas about my uniform. Yeah? To look exactly like the old one, but just with better materials. Yep. So you're going to claim that, are you? Not the bloke that created that uniform for the propaganda thing. Nope. Definitely, it's all mine. Put that down as my name.
Not even inspired by. It's just mine.
Not even inspired by, no. Right, getting major Master Chief vibes off of Captain America. Did you get any Master Chief vibes off of Captain America?
I know what you mean.
The way he's just like running around, jumping, lifting up tanks, like chucking shit in and running off, and it just made me feel like Captain America. And everyone was like, "Yeah, he's here." You know what I mean? Like his Master Chief just...
It's that, and it's also like the one-liners as well. You know, the sort of like being quite stoic with everything all the time.
Cold about everything,
Yeah.
Big long action scene, ending on the train. Cool stuff. Oh my god, the death of his mate was harsh and unexpected. It's a bit weird, wasn't it? Like, we've spoken about this a few times in the past, James. I don't know if you remember, but how sometimes when deaths of characters is quick and unexpected, that's way more impactful than when they're laying down on the floor going, tell my wife I love her.
Exactly, yeah.
And listen to me, Johnny. Listen to me. You gotta look after... Do you know what I mean? Like that shit. No! Gary, no! Like, it was way better for him to just be hanging from the thing. It looked like Captain America was going to save him, and then he just dropped to his death. Like, that was like, whoa, that was brutal.
And also, brutal. And the way they play, like, because you're thinking, like, immediately, it's like he's going to want revenge or whatever. But they didn't overplay that, I thought, which was quite good. No, it didn't go too far.
No, it was quite. Although, actually, to be fair, he did kind of forget him for the rest of the film. Like his best mate, he did kind of just like, okay.
Mind you, it was better than when Mickey Rourke's dad died. You know, and he did the shouting in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, you're right. Right, okay. He did have a period where he was upset, wasn't he? And then he said, Captain America can't get drunk. I understand why you like him so much now, James. You'd love to have that superpower during our recordings of a Game of the Year show, wouldn't you?
I don't get drunk. Just get, just happy, innit?
No, you don't remember the way that the podcasts go. Right, now he's been captured. Sorry for the lack of notes. I've been really enjoying this. So, yeah, I kind of just put my laptop to the side and watched it. Also, there's not much to comment on. You know, it is a hell of a lot of action. All of it pretty good. But yeah, just not too much to comment on.
No, because I think like the latter part of the film, like probably the last third or so, there's not actually a lot happens, if you know what I mean. Like in the terms of like plot development and stuff like that. It's mostly just like
I don't think there needs to be. I think you get to the end of one of these films, you do want it to be all like bang, explosions, people fighting, all that sort of stuff. I kind of like that. It didn't really go. It felt like it had teed everything up. You had the action, and then it went back and tidied everything up at the end, right? I think that's what these films need to do. But that might get a little bit tiresome, but we'll see. Now he's been captured. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Face off with the Skull Man. Harry's genuinely cheering during the rush on the base bit. What's the rush on the base bit?
That was when, like when they went in, like when he was like, we can just go in the front door.
Yeah. And they're going down the hallways, and then Captain America looks like he's going to get killed by a flamethrower, but then one of his mates kills the flamethrower, and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, all of that was great.
And they were loving the flamethrowers in this. Like they kept on having like these flamethrower, dudes show up all the time. It was it's like Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it was definitely like Wolfenstein. Yeah. See, this is a couple that I can get behind. I can see how their relationship is built. Harry's barely laughing at Tommy Lee Jones saying, "I'm not kissing you." When they have their kiss.
Yeah,
I did kind of like that. This is the most successful relationship in these films so far, right? I'd say even more so than Iron Man and Pepper Pot. Is it Pepper Pot?
Pepper Potts, yeah.
Peppo Pot.
Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts. Yeah.
Pepper Potts. I think
Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts. I think that they're probably I don't know how these characters are seen outside of me and you talking about them, because I genuinely don't talk to anyone about these films other than you. So I'm assuming Pepper Potts and Tony Stark are like a big sort of thing, right?
See, this is the thing, because actually I think in all of these films the relationship stuff is not really like
Peter out?
That important. Do you know what I mean? It's not really the focus ever, I don't think, with these things. I'm not saying
all are in these. Every one of these films, it's like
there's a love interest or whatever, but it's not like an integral part of the plot in the way that it is in this.
In Thor. He smashes the bridges to save her, knowing that he'll never see her again.
No, he's not. Well, no, he wasn't saving her. He was going to
saving his
smashing the bridge
or whatever. But but he was upset about smashing it because he knew he'd never see her again.
Exactly, he was upset, but it wouldn't have mattered. Like if he never saw her again, it's not like a big thing.
He was waiting by the fucking thing, just staring down like a weird little peeping tom. What are you talking
but
about?
it's still not the same though. I don't think as this. Like
this, the whole end of the film, James. He's standing by the thing. He goes up to the gatekeeper and says, "Oh, what's she up to?" And it's like, well, mind your own business, Thor. You're never going to see her again, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me, has she been in the shower yet? Thor, fuck off. Go and do something else.
No, but I still don't think it was as important. I think the whole film wouldn't have mattered if he'd never met her. Like,
I didn't think it was that important in this either. It was about the same.
I don't know. I think it was more in this.
No, it was worse in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that again.
Iron Man and Pepper Potts thing, it wasn't really in the first one, but it was in the second one, and that was quite a pivotal moment at the end of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's always been, there's a formula to these films so far.
There absolutely is, but it's also not really the main focus, I don't think.
I think you're seeing that in hindsight, knowing where it goes, because I'm assuming they drop all this shit, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be saying that. But so far we've had Iron Man and his and Pepper. You had Thor and the science.
Yeah.
We had the Incredible Hulk and what looked like a cardboard cutout of a human being.
Liv Tyler, who sinks every scene she's in. It's just
we had what's his name, Captain America and his lady friend. I thought this was the most convincing one though. Like, I was kind of happy that they got together at the end of this, or didn't actually. Fuck. Right. Okay. The whole plane sequence was great. Obviously, excellent bit of cinema.
Do you know? I was annoyed with myself with this because I was watching this and I felt irritated when I looked at, like how they had those bombs they were going to be like dropping on various cities.
Yeah.
And it had the names of like the cities written on the bombs, which at first of all I thought that's weird. Like, why would you do that?
They do
but
that.
Then also,
wasn't that something they did?
I don't think so.
I think not so. Like, look it up. I've read something about that before. Yeah. Whether it was either way, I looked at it, I don't know, but.
And it said like New York, and I thought that should be written in German, surely, because this is like a thing. But then I looked it up, and New York is New York in German. So, yeah, there you go. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you are. I suppose it is still the same thing, isn't it, James?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Chucking the Nazis out the plane was fucking well funny, is what I put. Wait,
but the bit with the propeller was pretty horrible.
What happens with the propeller again?
I remember when he's chasing the guy like on the he's on the plane with that guy and they have the fight and then he just chucks him and then he goes through the propeller at the back.
I don't remember that, so I might have been taking notes. So maybe I need to sit down and talk to Harry.
Blood spraying everywhere. It was mad.
Was it really?
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, you remember that, right?
Okay, I need to talk to Harry.
Yeah.
I wonder why he said he don't want to go to Spain next year. Okay. Wait, when the power cube thing exploded, did it send the Skull Man up to Thor and that? He's not dead. You said, they die in this and they're dead. Don't tell me.
Do you want me to see or not?
No, because it'll spoil it.
Okay.
But I'm convinced he's not dead because it had the way it works was the whole fucking plane that opened up and you saw space and then he shot up into space. He didn't die. He's with Thor or the Ice People, I reckon.
Well, wait and see. We'll
wait and see. Is he a famous character, that one?
The Red Skull is, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay, right. So he's definitely still alive then because they're not going to kill him in this film. Right. God, he's being an absolute hero. Crashing the plane. that is like proper pure.
He is like a real hero, though.
Hero shit, isn't it? Yeah. Hey man, it's gonna blow up in New York, but if I crash the plane here, only I will die. Right.
It's like, let's keep talking on the radio while I'm crashing. And all
this
that.
pulled from a film. This is interesting that you mentioned that. I'd love to know what this film is. I saw it in media class when we were studying film in media. Back in, when I was doing my A-levels and stuff, we watched it was an old black and white film, and it was about a pilot who was crashing or something was going wrong, and he fell in love with someone from air traffic control.
Yes, yeah. I know. I know.
What is it called?
It might be In Which We Serve, but I'm not sure.
In which?
Because In Which We Serve.
That doesn't ring any bells, but you might be right. Oh, maybe it is. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, though.
I don't think it is In Which We Serve. No,
because I've seen. Do you remember Big Train?
Yes, they parodied.
They did a massive parody of it, yeah, where they had like this radio controller, but she's talking to about 6 different pilots at the same time that are all doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's. I wonder if I Google World War II film pilot radio controller. Aerial navigate. Oh no, this is actually just. No, this is not how you Google. Angels. What?
No, it's
Away
not
to
that.
the Stars. No, I'll find it. But yeah, we watched it, and it totally felt like that. Like the conversations they were having, it was very, very similar to that film, which I'm assuming again was intentional. Right. Okay. At the end of that bit, when the screen goes black, Harry said, "Don't be the end now," because that would have been a bit rough, wouldn't it? He crashes the plane. That's it. Credits roll. Yeah. Right. And then, was that all a dream? That's what Harry said. Oh, was that all a dream when he woke up in the hospital bed? And I was like, no, Harry, I don't think it was all a dream. Something's going on here, but it would be a bit weird if that was all a dream and he was just a weedy man again and that was the end of the film.
You imagine that? You look down and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So then, of course, we find out that the hospital bed and the room wasn't really... it was in modern day. He breaks out and I wrote in big old capitals, California Man. Here we go. Nick Fury. And that last line, just utter perfection, right? Do you remember the last line?
Is that after the credits, or do you mean...
No, I'm going to do what you did do to me now. Go on. What do you think the last line was, James?
I don't remember.
Yeah, when he was upset and he said, I had a date. And then it cuts.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, beautiful, perfect ending. My comment was, fuck, that was fantastic. Easily the best one we've seen so far. Harry said 9 out of 10. His favourite bit was when he saved New York. Honestly, I just think that was because that was the most recent thing that had happened. He says Iron Man is still his favourite though. Right, okay, before we get into post-credits. If my favourite bit was when he saved New York. You don't even really see it. Aaron.
No. Cool, he's gonna love future films. In that case, it's
New York get a lot of saving, does it?
It's a place. Yeah.
Honestly, James, this was. I think the previous films, I quite liked Iron Man 1. Hulk was okay, wasn't great. Iron Man 2, I think I enjoyed a bit. Thor, didn't really dig. This was the first time I was like, shit, these films can be good. I think there's a hell of a lot of that is owed to the fact that I had no idea what Captain America's backstory was. I
think your expectation was much worse than what the reality turned out to be as well. So,
finding out this whole time that he's actually a bit like of a piss take is brilliant. Like, it's brilliant. And then also, obviously, the motives behind, like, the way he thinks and the way he acts, I adored it. What a brilliant character. Like, what a great fucking film.
Like you said, like, the propaganda and all that, it is like a piss take of all that, but then he still believes it all. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I love this character. There is like a purity there, which I think is really nice, actually, because you don't get that very often, I don't think, really, but portrayed so well. And I think Chris Evans is brilliant in this. I think he's fantastic as this character.
Everyone's brilliant in this, right? There's not one dud performance in this, in my opinion.
No, not at all. No, they're all fantastic. I mean, what do you think of Hugo Weaving? Because I thought he was quite good as the Red Skull.
Hold on, as the Red Skull.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. But I thought he was great.
But
he had that real menacing touch that he needed, and when he switched it just I thought he was great. Why? What are your thoughts?
Well, no, I mean, I liked him. I thought he was good, but he hated doing the film. He didn't enjoy it at all. He was like, I didn't enjoy that character. Didn't find it very interesting or anything at all. But he did a good job with it.
I mean, if you're a very serious actor, if you're, I suppose you get a little bit. You look at that and go,
but he played Agent Smith in The Matrix. It's not.
Good point. Good point. That is a fucking good point. Yeah, fuck you. What are you talking about? Go back to The Matrix then, you fucking prick. No, I thought everyone was great in it. Tommy Lee Jones was brilliant in this. I thought all of the sort of supporting cast were fantastic. I absolutely loved. I was gutted when the professor died. Because I loved every time he was on screen, he was great. Yeah. And I wish we got to see more of him because I thought he was a brilliant character and superbly acted.
Yeah, Asher loved him, and like when he died, he was really bummed out. Yeah. He was like, oh, he was brilliant.
That was me though. Harry didn't seem bothered. I was really bummed out when he died. But yeah, this is what I wanted from these films, or this is what I guess more of what I expected from these films, because so many people told me they're good,
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that they must be of a decent standard, right? So this was more of what I was expecting from a good one of these films, because it nailed everything it did, really.
And I think, you see, this one is the first one I watched that I really enjoyed. Like straight up really like connected with as well. Probably also because of the history stuff. Even though it's like a fake history or whatever, most of that, it's still, I love going back to that era. You know, it's just really interesting. And also, I mean, this is California Man again, kind of, to a degree. But it's a different kind, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's not going to be there in like modern times being wacky. Do you know what I mean? Because that's not his character.
This is I was saying, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if he'd have come out of that. No, take away the fake hospital room, which was bollocks anyway. It's so fucking stupid, right? We did it to ease you into it. Yeah, all right. Like, it was, that was fucking nonsense, right? But take that scene away from it. Imagine him waking up in a modern hospital and him looking at a flat screen and going, like, wow, what's going on here? And then picking up like that remote and like pressing a button and making it go loud and him go, ah, and then fall out of the bed, right? That's what they did to Thor.
I know it's what they did to Thor, but that's also because Thor's an alien. It's a bit different, you know?
Okay, but they didn't California Man American Captain. What's his name? Captain
American Captain. American Captain.
I've got to get used to saying these characters' names. The American Captain. The American Captain.
Who's your favourite? It's American Captain, actually.
The Man Spider is the one I like.
Nice to see you, American Captain.
The man made of iron.
Yeah.
The man in the
man of iron
suit.
An Iron Man, if you will.
Right, okay, post-credits time. Oh my god, imagine needing a piss in the cinema and having to sit through these credits.
Yeah, they go on a while, don't they?
I always need a piss in a cinema. I don't know what happens. I can go 8 times before sitting down in a cinema, and halfway through I need a piss.
Do you know, I had a really unpleasant experience once with that.
We just pissed everywhere.
To see what happened. No. It was horrible. I went to the cinema once and it was a film that I was really enjoying, and so I really needed the toilet, so I was just holding it for the entire film, like completely holding it. Then at the end of the film, when everyone left, like I went to go to the bathroom, obviously loads of people in the bathroom as well, stood in front of the urinal and I couldn't go, and I was just in intense pain.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, have you ever had that?
No.
Because it's horrible. No, it was horrible. I just couldn't go, and I don't know why. I mean, later on I did, obviously, but it was weird.
Do you ever do that thing where you really, really need a piss, right, for ages? Like, you're on the way home from somewhere, or say, you finally get there, and as you're doing down your flies, the full panic sets in, and you start doing that weird little hop dance around the toilet while you're trying to get your flies down. Do you ever do that?
Not since I was about 7, but
I think I still do that to this day, James. I'm sitting there going, oh, fucking hell, with my flies, trying to get the flies down. I'm on piss everywhere. I told you what happened. I must have told you the story about after I got diagnosed with Bell's palsy and Joe took me to the cinema to cheer me up.
Yes, you did tell me that.
I'd love to know what film that was. Well, I've got to say it now anyway, but we watched a film, and about 10 minutes in, I looked down and I'd pissed myself, and I said to Jo, we got to go. And she went, why? And she went, I've pissed myself. It must be something to do with this Bell's palsy or something, because, it affects your muscles. And she looked down at my lap and there was like a big wet patch down there. And she looked back up at me and went, David, just touch your face. I went, what? I said, touch your face. Touch my face, and it was soaking wet. And she said, now have a sip of drink. I had a sip of drink and it was just popping out the other side down into my lap. She went, you haven't pissed yourself. You just can't keep the drink in your mouth. I was like, all right, okay, fine. Right,
relieved, if anything, presumably, by the end of that.
But I was. But I assume that when people go to the cinema, how many of these have you seen in the cinema? A lot of them, or?
No, probably only about 4 or 5 of them, actually.
Really? The people, the credits roll, people go to the pit for a piss and then come back. Is that right?
No, you see, this is the thing that I've noticed, because I went and saw like the most recent Spider-Man like recently in the cinema, and like there's going to be like stuff after the credits or whatever, and there's always like a group of people that sit there and just stay, but then loads of people just go and never come back, and you're just thinking you're just missing like a whole load of this.
Yeah, but are they available on YouTube like that?
Yeah.
Around
you can
that time,
find that.
so you could just go home and just put it on YouTube.
Not normally like straight away, but later on they will be.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I can't imagine really needing a piss and then sitting through what looked like about 10 minutes of credits. I mean, we were fast forwarding it, but and I put, oh what? This is a bit of a cop out after credits.
I know, because it's basically just a trailer, isn't it?
It's a trailer of the next film.
Yeah.
See, I'm in this weird thing, right, where I don't want to watch the trailers anymore because that Captain America one gave away way too much. Way too much. Like, I knew so much about it before it even started. So when we watched that, Harry said, right, watch the trailer. And I went, that was the trailer. And I knew that the real trailer was probably a little bit more involved, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just those little clips that were put at the end of this film. And he was like, no, that was too short, wasn't it? I went, no, that's the trailer, we're not watching it, because I don't want to fucking ruin it. I don't want them to go, with the Avengers now, and we're fighting this, and we overcome him, but then there's a big argument between two of us, and that almost spelled the end of the Avengers, but we got back together, don't worry. Come and watch the film. Like, that's what that last trailer made me feel like. It was, I was really disappointed by it. So we might not watch the trailers anymore, James. What is your opinion?
I think that's a good idea.
You said that about us watching the trailers, though, James. So I don't know what to think.
No, because I think if you're like, if you don't want to get any, if you want to go in completely cold, then obviously it's the best way is to just not do that.
I want a bit of excitement, a bit of like a little something, but
they do tend to give away.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
Maybe I don't do it then. If it's a regular thing that they give away a lot of shit, I don't want to watch them. And do you know what's really dangerous? Obviously, we've been watching the trailers on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up my fucking algorithm on YouTube.
I can imagine that.
I know that there's a film called Doctor Strange and the Dimension or something. The
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse, that's it. And the Dimension.
Yeah.
316 millimeters. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness or whatever. Like, that's plastered all over my YouTube at the moment. When's that out?
Yeah, you don't want to. That's out in a couple of months, but you don't want to do that because it'll ruin stuff. Because there's so much.
God, I'm not going to watch it. No chance. Yeah. Like, there's no way I'm watching that.
No, but I'm worried about the algorithm now. If it's going to start throwing stuff up at you,
I need to start deleting.
Just go into your history and just delete. Like,
I'll just watch lots of like. I watch lots of Ryan toy reviews, and then
that's a good idea.
It'll get rid of it. Yeah. Wait, so this film's out in a couple of months. So while we're recording this, the number of films I've got to watch is going up.
Yes, it is going up. Yes.
Fuck's
yes. Although but by the time we intend to launch this, it won't be out like available like on streaming or anything yet. It'll only be out in the cinemas.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Right. Do we continue this on afterwards once we've finished? I don't know if I want to do that.
I think we see how it goes and see what you think. I mean, we may even end up with a situation.
I can't take a fucking laptop into a cinema.
No, but we may end up into a situation where we could do what we wanted to do with the end of Star Wars as well. You know, where we could go and see one or something like that, which would be pretty cool.
I don't want to go. Oh yeah, when you bailed, I bought you a ticket and you fucked off.
I had to go to China. It was I couldn't.
Okay. Right, I bought you a fucking recliner seat.
I know. How are you feeling about Avengers now, though? Because I know you were looking forward to it.
Still, we're super pumped about the Avengers film. Yeah, I kind of am. I want to see... Like, that was disappointing. I know Thor's in the Avengers film.
He is, yes.
So he's not stuck on his little planet, then?
No, he's not.
See... I don't know. I want to know that.
Well, you know, obviously
I don't want to know.
He had to be in it, didn't he? Because it's Avengers, isn't it? It's the lot of them together.
I think I don't know how to feel. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't think it's a slam dunk that I'm going to love it.
Can I tell you what? No, I won't tell you what I thought about this film when I first saw it. I'll talk about that when we talk about it.
No, go on. Just say whether you liked it or not.
Well, no, because when I first saw this, like the Avengers, I think was actually maybe the first one I ever saw, like in the cinema, and I was just completely confused as to what the whole thing was.
Oh, really?
Like, really.
Does it refer to a lot of?
Not really. It's just that because I didn't have any of the build-up of who any of these characters were or why I should care about them, really, because it doesnn't do that in the Avengers film. Like they don't go into each of the characters and who they are and all that kind of thing, because they're assuming you've seen the previous films, and so you've already got like a pretty good understanding.
So this is it. Like, I mean, when I was talking about this, people were saying, "Oh no, see the Spider-Man film or see this film."
Nah,
and I was like, "But I've not seen any of this shit."
And it's like some of them you can do that. You can do that with some of the films, like some of the standalone ones. Like if you saw like Ant-Man or whatever, that would be fine. Like it wouldn't matter too much. But stuff like Avengers, which like this has been building to this, like that's the whole thing. Of course, you really need to have seen the others, otherwise it just makes very little sense. And
we are super excited. I don't know if we're going to watch it next week. I don't know if we're going to get the chance to watch it next week, but we're gonna try because I want to see it. See what.
And then we finished phase 1,
and that's phase 1 done next week.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Just mad, isn't it? And,
well, that is what. How many Marvel films have I seen now? 4.
No, you've seen 5. This is 5 you've seen so far.
No, I was talking about the films that I'd seen. Thor. There's a little joke there. Right, I've seen 5. Iron Man. Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. Yeah, I've seen 5 films. Shit.
Yeah, you've seen 5, yeah.
Only 22 to go, James.
Yeah. Sorry, no, 27.
Oh, yeah. 27.
I just love this idea of each time just saying, like, adding an extra next one every time.
Okay, cool. So that was Captain America.
Yeah.
I'll call you once I've seen the Avengers.
I'm really glad you liked it though. Like in general,
it was brilliant. It was really good. Like, really good. Like in terms of if I'm talking about cinema as a whole, like it's not going to break my top 10 films. No.
But, I know, but it's still for these films.
Really
this
enjoyable
is one of the
film. Yeah, really enjoyable.
And I
loved it.
The Captain America ones out of all of these are like my favourites. Pretty much, they're really good. I think all of them.
All right.
But, yeah.
Okay. We'll okay. I will call you when I've seen the Avengers. Are you excited about me watching the Avengers?
Yeah, I am actually, because I want to see what you get out of it, having seen all of these as well. Like whether you get all this stuff. I think it's going to be quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to know what Harry thinks. I'm just.
Do you think he'll like it then?
I think he's going to love it.
This is the one for the kids, right?
I think he's going to love it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one for the kids. I think that's the feeling I get. That this is.
Oh man, there's so many like really good one-liners in it as well.
What in this film? In this one film?
Yeah, in the Avengers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's enough. I'll catch you. I'll catch you when I've seen it.
All right. Okay.
Bye. Bye.